So, hello friends, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, all of you. And that today we are going to discuss that how to integrate that Salesforce to ChatGPT. And so, if you see my screen, and that we are going to do using that Apex, and that we are using that named credential and external credential. So, it's very easy. So, let's say start. So first of all, we can open that this URL. So you can open. So let's open this URL and then we'll see how it's working. So first of all, we can open and then we can go that profile, your profile, and that you can go that API keys. And here you can see that API keys and that you can create new secret key here and that you can give that name, any name you can give, and that project you can select default project and create secret key here. So as I have already created, so you can see here, and that step number 2, that we have to create that external credential. So for that we have to go that setup, and this is the developer edition, so you can use the same. So here you can type named credential, and you see here that external credential, and that you can go and give any name here, that any name you can give here, and the same name you can give label and name as well. So you can give here, and that custom authentication protocol you can select custom and that's save. So I have already created, if you can see here, that label name and that authentication protocol, that custom. You can add header, custom header as well. So let's add that header as well. So that same page, downside come and click new, and that give that authorization, that name, and that value, that bearer sk we have. So the sequence we can keep one, and that's save. So similar like here you can see here that authorization, that name, and value you can give here something like this. And after custom header, that we can go to third step, that principal. So in principal, that similar page you can go and that click here similar, and that here you can give that open API something, that sequence. If you are creating first time, then it would become 1, since already I have created, so that's why it's coming like 2. And that name principal, you can select identity type, and that's save. So if you see principal as well, I have already created. And so I think that's regarding that principles. And after that we can create that permission set as well. For permission set, just go to setup and just mention here permission set, and that you can create new permission set here. Just give that label name, API name here, and click save. So I have already created that permission set. I will show you that one. So here you can see here OpenAI access. I have already created. So now once you create it, you can go that external credential principal access. Click here and that edit and that add that, since you have already created that external credential principal, so you can add here. So now I can assign that user as well, manage assignment, and that add assignment and select our user and that click next. So something like that we can do here and that assign. So I have already assigned this user, so it's fine. So I think this is done. So now that named credential we have. So for named credential, you can go that name credential again, and here is the name credential and select new, and that you can give any label and name, and that URL you can give this URL. After that you can give that external credential. So we have already created that external credential and that select and that save. So this is the named credential. Once you create that named credential, so we can create that apex class. So here we have to create that apex class. So now can go that developer console and that click. So once you create that developer console, here it's open like that, and I have so here you can create new and apex class and that give that name, that ChatGPT service or any other name, and that okay. So if you see here that HTTP request and that set endpoint. So since we are using named credentials, so we are using that callout and that we can give this parameter name. That set method, if you see here, that post method we are using, and that set header, that application JSON, that content type, and apart from that, if you talk about HTTP response, so we are using the try and catch block, and that we are handling that status code as well. So that's all. I think that apex class is very easy, and that you can give that same apex class as well. And so now it's time for testing. So let's test whether it's working or not. So if you see here, open execute elements window, and you can see here, so I'm giving that name, that class name, and that method name, you can see here, and that I'm passing that parameter as well here, that prompt. So what is Salesforce Apex trigger, and that I'm debugging as well. So let's execute. Let's debug only. Yeah, so here you can see here that it's coming like you exceeded that your current quota. This is the result. So that means it's working fine, but my ChatGPT credit has been finished out. So that's why it's asking like that I can purchase this plan. That means I can check that plan and billing details. So we can go this URL and check what is that URL here, and let's check this URL. So you can see here you exceeded your current quota, so please check your plan and billing details, and you have run out of credit or hit your maximum monthly spend, and that is the solution: buy more credit and learn how to increase your limit. So basically our code is working fine, and if you have free credit or you have already purchased, so you can try the same. And thank you very much all of you.